shrinkage in the laundry room.
And that's what the idea for your business came from.
Demand beyond our family members and friends. We first did an informal round of fundraising amongst the founders, because if you're not willing to put a little bit of skin in the game as a co-founder, then, what are you doing? And that got us actually to the first sweater season. So September through May, we used our own funds to do that. It was only once we started to get interest from retailers and from international distributors that we said to ourselves, perhaps we should look for external funding. Now, remind the fact that once we graduate from graduate school, we're going to have loans and bills and families to provide for, and we should probably try to cover a salary. So that was the catalyst to looking for capital, and we looked at it in all the most traditional places with angel investors, with accelerators, with families and friends, and with a couple of VC firms in the DC and Boston area.
So I like the way that you were getting interest from retailers and wholesalers and things like that, because that probably made your pitch a lot more appealing. How did, I guess, your experience with pitching venture capital firms and angel investors, how'd that help you when you got onto ABC's Shark Tank?
Tremendously. By the time we went on Shark Tank, we had already that we started being in front of billionaires and multimillionaires. The pressure of knowing that you have anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours to make an impression about your product or your service, and they're going to judge you either very harshly or at least very critically about what you're doing.
So you mean you went on the carpet for only that 12 minutes that they showed on the TV show? Oh no, Nate and I were on that carpet for about 2 hours. So do you at least get a bathroom break or something? I don't know.
No. The thought is that they don't want you to be able to go and look at notes or to confer with one another. It's really supposed to be you and the pressure cooker. What do you do in a moment of intensity to really sell your product and to sell yourself?
So you've made the pitch. You've made 50 pitches before you got to Shark Tank. You're standing on the carpet for 2 hours. Can you talk to us about not necessarily, what was going through what was going through your mind? What's the mentality and mindset that you had to have in order to really repel all the different things that they would ask about your business and make sure you knew your numbers? What's the mentality you had to prepare for?
It's a great question. I will tell you that the best thing, that the mentality that served me best was frankly being exceptionally confident that I had a product that truly was worthwhile, that I myself was a person of integrity, and that our business, although not perfect to everyone, had a lot of strong qualities to it. So it's sense of confidence flying in. And I will tell you, the first 5 minutes, you feel buffeted left and right. They're asking you question after question. They're overlapping. There's a sense of impatience because their time is valuable and they want to find out as much as possible about you and the product as quickly as possible. And I recall thinking, I'm going to flounder here if I don't get my bearings, because I can't answer every question, and I certainly can't answer overlapping questions. And so I told this to many people beforehand, and I'll just repeat it here, that I literally just stopped for a moment and thought to myself, well, if Mark, Kevin, and Damon ask a question at the same time, then why don't I listen for the questions, like truly breathe and listen, and pick the question that I feel most prepared to knock out the ballpark. Instead of trying to parse out who deserves to be answered first, answer the one I want. So there was a moment in which that literally happened where 3 or 4 people asked the same question, and I happened to hear Kevin's question come out in a way that I thought we had prepared it well and it was going to make us look great. So I answered it, and he loved my answer. And to my surprise, so there's a momentary freak out session where you're thinking they're Damon and Mark, and I say, hey, you didn't answer my question. Instead, because my answer was so good to Kevin, they dropped their initial question and asked a follow-up to that one. So it created this wonderful domino effect where basically every question, they had Nate and I not practice 15, 20 hours a week for almost 2 months on those questions, pausing and playing different Shark Tank segments and making ourselves answer questions as if we were the founders ourselves, of creating fake VC sessions where people grilled us for hours on end and we had to answer the questions. And if we didn't have that foundation of practice, I don't think I would have had the balls. Well, I don't have balls, but
hey, you can say it. We're on the internet. It's okay.
Okay. I wouldn't have had the guts to do that. But because I knew if I did try to take control in it, I took control over things that I thought we were really well prepared to do to highlight ourselves. That was why I was comfortable doing it. If you're not prepared, if you don't know your numbers, if you don't know your business, if you're trying to be a fake person, I can't tell you how many people, said that they were going to try to be a persona on Shark Tank. And Nate and I said no. Under pressure, particularly under pressure for an hour or 2 hours, you eventually revert to yourself. You might as well practice being yourself.
Desiree, I've got to tell you, you are a very wise woman, okay? You've probably dropped 5 or 6 golden nuggets in this few minutes that we've been talking. And just in case you're just tuning in, we're talking to Desiree Stoller. Some of them have even been featured on national television shows like ABC's Shark Tank and CNBC's The Profit. Our mission is simple: to journey with you on your road to achievement. To do that, I'd like to invite you to partner with us in our Share All promise. I promise to continually share for free without commercial interruption and unnecessary subscriptions. And I ask that you promise to share us with your friends. Here's something you like? Simply use the social share buttons at the bottom of the page to tell your network about the podcast for business. It's simple, easy, and only takes 5 seconds. That's it, partner. You've made the Share All promise.
All new radio for small business. Put your mouth where your money is. Radio for small business with HomeBaBiz.
It's Radio for Small Business, HomeBaBiz.com. Your host, Eugene Rowe. My next guest has luggage that folds. I'm about to get on a plane literally right now, and we need to talk to Mr. Stephen Hirsch of Biagi. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit of luggage that folds? Okay, that's something interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and your products?
Yeah, so Biagi makes innovative travel products, not only luggage that folds, but other products that make travelers' lives simpler. But our core product, like you mentioned, is foldable luggage because, as you know, luggage takes up a lot of space in your home, and this is an issue that nobody really has dealt with before we came along. Basically, we make durable, lightweight luggage that you can fold up and store easily in a drawer, on a shelf, under a bed. We sell inventory. One style we'll borrow it against purchase orders. If we get a big order from somebody, we might use a factor. I don't know if you know what a factor is. I'm assuming you do.
Yes, I do, yeah.
In case your listeners don't know what a factor is, basically you get an order from a company, like let's say I do business with QVC, for example. They'll write me an order, and in order for me to be able to pay my factory before I get paid by them, I'll borrow against that purchase order.
So, and that's interesting. Most people think you get an order from, say, for instance, a Target or a QVC or somebody, and they automatically send the money. But it could be quite a while before, purchasers actually send you the cash, right?
Yeah, it could be 60 days or even as much as 90 days.
So when it comes to, I know you said you guys don't borrow necessarily. That's not your business model. There are probably a million people that would call you crazy. Tell us about the mindset or the thought process behind not borrowing against your company's assets.
Every business is different, and I wouldn't knock somebody for borrowing money. Most companies do it. I've done it with previous business as well, but ultimately we changed our business model and we operate, a very, very, very lean. We reinvest basically, everything that we make, we reinvest into inventory, and ultimately it catches up, in a positive way. I mean, that's just the way we like to do it. Again, there's so many different business models that you could use. And the best alternative to that is to have a partner who not only can help you with the money, but can also add more to the business. Instead of just borrowing somebody, it could be somebody that helps you grow, like a bank will lend you money, and then, and obviously that helps you for sure if you're going down that route 100%. Every business needs capital in order to operate, but, the next level is to really, I work with Lori Grenier, so not only does she invest in the company, but she also bought me some of my largest customers.
Wow.
No bank's going to do that for you.
And a lot of people don't think about that, right? So not only did she get a piece of the company, but it's like you said, she's motivated to go get more business for you. I know she's got the QVC stuff. She's got the Bed Bath & Beyond stuff. Can you talk more about the value of being able to have that value add partner when it comes to bringing customers in the door?
I mean, first of all, in my case, I happen to have a celebrity partner. That helps me whenever I meet with retailers or other customers that I'm trying to sell to. Obviously, I could name drop, I guess, and that definitely helps because it gives credibility to, what I do, that somebody like that is, interested enough in my business to invest and to be on board and help me sell, So the strategic partner doesn't have to be that, though. It doesn't have to be, a shark from Shark Tank. I mean, not that many people get that opportunity. It could be anybody. It could be fulfillment, somebody who does your fulfillment or helps you with fulfillment. It could be different kind of a partner who can help you grow your business into category. It's not, people don't trust necessarily that often, and there's so many different kinds of products in the category, and we sell a very specialized product. So our customers are very loyal customers. These are people who really do, feel that we solve a problem for them, and we get a lot of repeat business, which is obviously the ultimate feedback and the positive feedback that you could get.
They're definitely loving it then. Stephen Hirsch, owner of Biaggi. Biaggi.com. How do you spell that?
Biaggi.com.
Okay, Biaggi.com. Stephen Hirsch, thanks for taking your time out here at homebabiz.com.
Thank you.
Connect, capitalize, go.
Hi, I'm Eugene Rowe, host of the podcast For Business. On behalf of our team, I'd like to say thanks. Every month, we're able to impact thousands of lives all over the globe with relevant, impactful, and insightful guests. Some of them have even been featured on national television shows like ABC's Shark Tank and CNBC's The Profit. Our mission is simple: to journey with you on your road to achievement. To do that, I'd like to invite you to partner with us in our Share All promise. I promise to continually share for free without commercial interruption and unnecessary subscriptions. And I ask that you promise to share us with your friends. Here's something you like? Simply use the social share buttons at the bottom of the page. Now tell us a little bit, because I use words like downrange and defend us, so you got to tell everybody what you're all about.
I joined the Navy the week after 9/11 and spent 13 years in the Navy, the last 9 years in the Navy as a SEAL. I don't have a fancy business degree or anything like that, and, fortunately, I learned enough in the military that has really applied to business to where we've been able to be successful. So I consider myself really fortunate for that.
So obviously, we see all the documentaries, we see the movies about U.S. Navy SEALs and things like that. What percentage or how much of that training actually, bred you to make sure you were going to be successful in business as well?
A ton of it did. I mean, the first things first is they teach you accountability there. A lot of us think that we're grown up and mature, and then you get into a pressure cooker like SEAL training, and you realize that, I'm really not as mature as I thought I was. They teach you right off the bat that excuses don't mean anything. We don't want to hear your excuses. We don't care why you're late. We don't care why you didn't make your time. And, that really translates over into business, because you can have all
about your background
by the business.
Well, first of all, I'm talking to Eli Crane, owner of Bottle Breacher. Eli, thanks for your service as a member of the U.S. Navy and the Navy SEAL. So we definitely thank you for that. Of course, here to talk to you today about your business, Bottle Breacher. Now, Bottle Breacher, that itself sounds exciting. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. So I started this business out of my one-car garage in San Diego. I was honestly just trying to make something cool. When I realized I was onto something, and then my buddies loved it, we were taking 50 caliber dummy ammunition and turning them into bottle openers. We did not come up with this idea. We just made this idea way better, and we, applied a solid branding to it. Breacher, I wanted the brand to be something that stood out and something that, people could get behind. And, a breacher in the SEAL teams is an operator whose job is to get us into whatever target we're hitting, whether he does it explosively or mechanically. And so, I knew you had to get into that bottle of suds somehow, so why not breach it? So Bottle Breacher got a nice ring to it, and, we've found that people, have really gotten behind our Made in the USA, better known brand.
That's right. Now, most of the product is actually made by U.S. veterans and U.S. citizens, right?
Yeah, so we have, it's just to be completely upfront, we're not, our business isn't completely operated by veterans. We hire as many as we can.
Gotcha.
Right now we have 7 working for us, And so, we're pretty proud of that fact. And all of our products are made right here in the USA. And secondly, it's been really go on the Shark Tank seeking money. Even though money is great, it can infuse your business. What I really wanted was I wanted tactical partners that could get me in the doors that would take me 4 to 5 years to get into myself. And, guys that could help guide and mentor us along the way. And that's what I was really seeking. Along with it, you get, obviously, we got $150,000, 75 from Mark Cuban, 75 from Kevin O'Leary. But the other thing that you get is the exposure of the Shark Tank. And, that show is rerun constantly in the United States, all over the world. And every time it gets rerun, we see a spike in sales. So it's been amazing.
That's pretty awesome. We've been talking, we're still talking to Eli Crane of Bottle Breacher, and I know we're talking about your experience on the Shark Tank. Millions of dollars of sales immediately after the show. So not only did you raise capital, but there's how many millions of dollars in just marketing that you get for your business, whether you get a deal or not.
I don't know what the actual number is. I've heard that type of exposure would cost you millions of dollars. So one of the things that I went into the Shark Tank, and one of my mantras is that 70% of something is worth more than 100% of nothing.
Okay.
I would have given up 30% of my business, for what I got. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners make, is that they don't realize the value of taking on a tactical partner who also can infuse income and capital into your business. They want to keep control over everything, and they want to be 100% owner, and that's great and it's fine. But a lot of the times they're never able to take their business to the next level because of it, and that's why I say they own 100% of nothing.
And that's a good thing to say. I remember hearing even Kevin O'Leary say that, he had a problem with his original company that he sold to Mattel, and he brought in another guy to solve that problem, and he gave that guy equity. And as a result, $4 billion later, they were a multi-billion-dollar sale or something like that. So
Absolutely.
I definitely agree with that. So let's kind of switch gears just a little bit and preparing to get onto the show. Not necessarily applying, but what else is going through your head as far as preparing? Questions they might ask, things they may want to know, things that you need to still learn about your own business. What was going through your mind?
What was going through my mind is that we were only going to get one shot at this, and I've had a lot of failures in my life. Most of them were because I didn't properly prepare. Most of it was because I took kind of a lackadaisical, I'm going to do this kind of half-assed mentality, and I knew that wasn't going to work on the Shark Tank. So, we knew, nothing's worse than watching the Shark Tank and watching entrepreneurs fumble through their pitch and then not being able to answer questions. So I definitely sought out as many advisors, it had solid reputations that had been there, done that, and had been successful in multiple businesses. And I just had them put me through the pressure cooker. I would bring these guys, they know that I wasn't some sewer with, 5 successful businesses and 20 years under my belt, but they knew that we knew what we were talking about. They knew that our sales were solid, and they knew that we weren't going to run from adversity. And I think that's so important, because when you do a deal, when you make an investment, only half of that investment should be on the product or the service or the business itself. The other half of that investment and deal should be based on the warm and fuzzy you get on the people behind it. And that's what I wanted the Sharks to understand, that Jen and I had faced a lot of adversity, and when we faced it, we didn't run for the hills. We fought strong, and we had to. After the Shark Tank, we had a 3-month back order. We had, for sure, a customer service problem because, we did $1 million in sales in the first week. So you don't go from manufacturing your own product and making 130 units on a good day to having to make 1,500 to 2,000 on the next day and not have any issues. That just doesn't happen.
Wow.
And so, we were, thankfully as a company, we were able to get through that. We rallied around one another. We thought outside the box. We brought in new innovation, and, we solved the problem. And because of it, we're still in business today.
Well said. Eli Crane, owner of the Bottle Breacher. Where can listeners pick it up?
Go to bottlebreacher.com. All of our products are right there. They're all made in the USA. We support a lot of veteran nonprofits. I couldn't be any happier to do what I do on a daily basis. Thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we appreciate you. We appreciate your service. Eli Crane, owner of Bottle Breacher. Thanks for taking your time out on homebubiz.com.
Thank you. He's an entrepreneur.
Share All promise is to continually share for free without commercial interruption and unnecessary subscriptions. And I ask that you promise to share us with your friends. Here's something you like? Simply use the social share buttons at the bottom of the page to tell your network about the podcast for business. It's simple, easy, and only takes 5 seconds. That's it, partner. You've made the Share All promise.
All new Radio for Small Business.
It's Radio for Small Business. Your host, Eugene Rowe. Check us out on homebubiz.com. Connect, capitalize, and go. And if you're planning on going on an adventure, you'll want to listen to this next guest, Andy Cochran, owner of Oru Kayak. Welcome to Radio for Small Business.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Andy, now, I'll tell you, I've been on water in water sports maybe once. I was in a canoe. I know you guys do kayak. I promise.
And he is an architect, and he was doing architecture with a material called chloroplast, which is basically a plastic cardboard. So he's pretty familiar with this type of material. He's also a pretty avid kayaker, and he moved from northern California down to San Francisco, down to the Bay Area. And in that move, he moved into a small apartment and couldn't keep his kayak. So he threw it in storage, and, this is kind of something he didn't like. He, would rather be out paddling every once in a while.
Right.
He read an article in the New Yorker about origami and had one of those kind of cliche aha moments where he, started believing he could make a kayak out of this plastic that he used a lot, using origami folding technique.
So the actual kayak actually folds and stores a lot better than anything else that's out there right now.
Yeah, it's totally different. We don't have a competitor on the market. Our boat folds to one sheet of plastic. There's 3 different models. You can get them in either 12 or 16 feet long, and it folds down into a case that you can check on a plane. You can carry on your back. Fit in the trunk of your car. So it folds down pretty small. Something that makes it a lot more portable.
Awesome. We're talking to Andy Cochran with Oru Kayak. Now, Andy, I know eventually it was time to maybe raise some capital and build some funds. Can you talk to us a little bit about how the company maybe brought on some investors, or at least pitched a few investors?
So we have raised funds actually in a number of ways now. So we have dabbled in crowdfunding. We launched initially 2012 in the fall. Since then, friends and family, but still have used that money each time for very specific needs. So it's not just like, this spring we're going to go out and raise money to grow. It's like we need a certain machine, or a certain mold for injection molding in the factory, or we're going after a distribution center in Europe. Let's raise, whatever it is, $400K for